Hey, what's up? This is J.R. Martin. So, one of the questions that I get a lot of times when I go to cons is what drove me to write the stories the way I do? The easiest way to say that, or the easiest, um, yeah, I guess the easiest way from, and these are real raw. So, don't have a script, I'm just kind of coming off the top of my head. So, I'm thinking through what I'm saying as I'm saying it. But with that being said, the reason I started writing stories, the type of stories I write, as I've talked about it over time, uh, first and foremost, we live in a world full of diverse cultures and people, and I think a lot of the stories that we read and that we have out there tend to focus on being very, very, for lack of a better word, monolithic. There's not a lot of that are very homogenous. The stories are, at least, where when you look at life, when you look at cultures, when you look at things that have happened over time within all societies throughout the world, it's very heterogeneous. And that's huge. Excuse me. And that's huge because that's something that is missing from a lot of stories, and I think people forget that, right? There have been times when it's one culture doing one thing in society and in stories, but a lot of times it's a mix of cultures intermingling, and to me that's important. And so when I write, that's one of the main things that I'm focusing on, is making sure that I'm writing those types of stories to make sure that you know, we're seeing the different viewpoints. And then not only that, but that it makes sense. So something as simple as I have a character in one of my books whose last name is Saktabong. Um, from what I was able to research, that is a Southeast Asian last name, primarily Laotian, if I'm memory serves. But because the story takes place in the 1800s, doesn't matter if that is a Laotian last name. It's actually the entire area was Siam at the time. So it's not just sticking something like those cultural differences in there just to be doing it, but it's also allowing them to impact how the story is told, the perspectives, and where those people are from, and kind of allowing certain cultural aspects to inform on how the story should progress. And I do take a lot of time to research those types of things, to understand how little things like the impact of a name can actually have huge implications on how the story goes. So that's a little bit here. I can't believe we've already hit like 3 minutes, but I'm gonna keep these short and sweet so that we can continue to have good conversations about our stories. Later.